Boy, I better not find you up there in your room listening to that Working Crass podcast. That's Lauren.
You get your hands off that tiddlywhacker.
You keep your hands off your own little tiddlywhacker up there in your room listening to that dirty podcast.
You put your hands in your pocket, boy.
Sometimes the way we advertise the podcast is like a filthy, dirty podcast makes it sound like we're one of those porn podcasts where it's like they have a porn star on and they fuck her afterwards. Could we start a podcast like that?
Yeah.
We can?
Yeah.
You're lying. You're just saying that for the camera. And then after the podcast ends, I go, hey, remember when you said, could we really do that? You're like, no, fuck no.
Wait till the subscribers come in, Josh. Then you can unravel my my sincerity.
Well, welcome to Working Crass Podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're out there listening to the episodes that we put out for you. And let's go ahead and get started with an Am I the Asshole from Reddit.
Yeah.
Am I the asshole for refusing to take my girlfriend to nice places because she eats like a kid?
Now, I'll be honest, when I hear the title of this, it does make me think that this person is just very messy and they're going to nice restaurants and she's like taking a bowl of spaghetti and dumping it on her head.
She eats like this.
Like an infant, yeah.
Just smacking the food all over the place.
Just throwing mashed potatoes at people around her.
Bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
They have to feed her with a spoon and she spits it all out.
They have to do like,
They have
here
to go
comes the airplane. Brrrr. Yeah. And then it all just like dribbles out her
Yeah.
mouth. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
In which case I would say, no, I don't think that makes you the asshole.
I would just call it, am I the asshole for refusing to take my girlfriend to nice places because she shits her pants? Because she poo-poos in her diaper all the time every time we go out. Because she tinkles in her diape. My girlfriend is an incredibly picky eater. Like I said in my title, she eats like she is 10 years old. In fact, I'll give a short list of things she refuses to eat. Unflavored water, fish, excluding fried shrimp, anything with bones, cheese other than sharp cheddar, spinach, onions, garlic, pasta without red sauce, eggs, spicy food, aioli. Is that how you say it? Aioli?
I feel like this is not a short list.
This is a
very long list of food items. This is...
Now, I'm an incredibly picky eater, and I like to tell people what I will eat instead of what I won't eat. And so I'll just be like, well, here are the things that I like. And then inevitably every time I do that, they add a bunch of shit that wasn't on my list that I don't eat. That's why I didn't add it on my list. Like, we just thought it would be interesting to put broccoli on the pizza you asked for. I know you said you like spaghetti, but we decided to make the spaghetti out of meatloaf.
It's called Meat Getty.
I'm like, that wasn't on my Meat Getty wasn't on my list. Anyway, let's see. So it was ketchup, potatoes, any potatoes other than French fries. She won't eat pastries with fruit, which is a lot of pastries. Any pie, really.
No pie.
Citrus, sausage, or any non-American food. Non-American. That leaves out. It's like burgers, basically.
But she's okay with French
pizza's
fries.
non-American. No, that's French.
No, she'll eat French fries.
Well, then
She makes an exception.
she breaks her own rule for that.
Yeah.
This compares to me, someone who grew up in multiple different regions of the U.S. and lived in abroad for a few years, so I'm a bit more adventurous when it comes to food. I don't know. This kind of sounds like my dream girl.
My God.
I might have to get a divorce and find this lady.
Well, I'm
this
gonna
picky eater lady, because that is how I eat.
Yeah.
Whenever me and my listen to this.
No.
Let me ask you if this is familiar.
Okay.
Whenever me and my girlfriend go out somewhere nice, she ends up getting the same meals. Usually either a burger or chicken tenders and fries. Now, if we could replace this with pizza or chicken tender and fries, that would be me.
Yeah. Yeah. If those items are available on a menu, Josh
I don't really
will
choose anything
probably order them. But I would say you're not nearly this picky. This is like extreme.
Well,
like
thank you.
you're a little bit more willing to venture outside of of your comfort zone.
You hear that, Mom? I am.
I mean,
I'm good.
you don't have a problem with unflavored water.
Oh, yeah. No, I actually prefer unflavored water to flavored water.
So
we could be going to an authentic Nepalese restaurant, and she will get the French fries and white rice. To me, it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, that sounds pretty good. What's wrong with that?
hey, we went to a Nepalese restaurant, and you got tandoori chicken.
I got tandoori chicken and French fries.
I don't remember you getting French fries.
I actually don't think there were French fries.
I don't think
You're
they
right.
had French fries.
You're right.
I think
if they had French fries, I would have gotten them. Just to be clear.
I think this lady probably threw a tantrum, and they're like, "We'll bring her some French fries."
If they had chicken tenders at that restaurant, I would have gotten them. I'm just joking. To me, it's kind of embarrassing to go to a restaurant where there's a dress code and for her to order chicken tenders and fries. It especially bothers me that since I typically pay, I end up paying $15 for chicken tenders that I could get from the freezer section at Walmart for $5. Okay, I kind of understand that, but I wouldn't be embarrassed to go to a restaurant. I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I just have no shame. Like, I'll order a whole pizza and eat it by myself.
Josh would put on a tuxedo, go out to a high-class place and go, "Sir, bring me a plate of your finest tendies."
Give me pepperoni pizza, please. I'm in a suit. Pepperoni pizza, please, sir. I just go to, like, fancy hotels and restaurants. Go to people working there. A pepperoni pizza, please, sir.
And you taste the pepperoni like you're one of those people who tastes wine. Like, let me get the bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
The aroma.
That's a nice pepperoni. Recently in our area, a very nice dinner place opened up, and my girlfriend has been dying to go. I took a look at the place at the menu and saw that it looked nice, but the food was kind of pricey. She said she was probably going to get chicken tenders as per usual. I asked her, what's the point of going then if I can toss some tenders in the air fryer for her and not spend a ridiculous amount of money on it? She asked why I had an attitude about this, and I told her that I thought it was it was a waste of time and money to go to a place to get little kid food. She interpreted this as me calling her a little kid. Classic argument between a man and woman. Classic argument between man and woman. You say that something that you said sounds like this, and you go, "Oh, so you're calling me that?" That is always. Yeah. If you say that's stupid what you said, they go, "Oh, you're calling me stupid?
You think I'm stupid?
You think I'm stupid?
You think I'm stupid?"
It's the same thing over and over. I clarified that I wasn't calling her a child. However, it is kind of childish for her to eat the way she does. Mm-hmm. I also said that she's going to order food we can make at home. There's no point in us going anywhere. This led to an argument about me thinking I'm better than her. Am I the asshole? Okay. Here's my thing. As a picky eater, other people who are not picky eaters, I will fully admit, are better than me. 100%. You can think you're better than me, and you're right about it. If you have a big palate and you like to try different things, that's awesome. I wish I was you, and you are better than me. And you have better taste than me, everything, all of those things. I'm just stupid.
Keep going.
I think I'm done. I think I'm done. But no, what's your take on this?
Well, I feel
Is he an asshole?
I think he's making it too much about the food, and part of going out, sure, yes, it is you're ordering a meal, and it's like you're trying to get something that you can't just get at home. But it's also just about the experience of being outside the house together, doing something together. Yeah. And it really, like, that extra, layer, the whatever it is that you order, isn't that important.
And I completely agree. I think that's what I take out of going out with someone to dinner or going out with someone to a meal. And this is what I've always said. Food, to me, is just doo-doo fuel. It's all it is. Food is only doo-doo fuel. I don't care how great it tastes or how bad it tastes. It's all coming out of the same hole, right? Mm-hmm. People care so much about what people who care about you care about what your opinion of the food that they've served you or the food that they've bought you, or like they care so tremendously, and it drives me nuts. I don't understand it. When someone like makes a meal for you and you're like, and they're like, what did you think? And they really want you to like it. And they're like, I experimented with all kinds of different things I found in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, oh yeah, it's, it's fine. Or like, maybe I'm not hungry. They take it so personally, like incredibly personally. Like, this was my food. It's like, I don't even value food that much. Like, even if I loved it, I don't think you're a better person for making the food. Like, I just don't food is doo-doo fuel. That's all it is. It's like, oh, I made really pretty doo-doo fuel. That's great. I don't, like, it means nothing to me. People put a lot of value in, I've noticed, in my opinion of what I am eating, and I don't have a high opinion. Well, it's either like, that pizza's good, or like, this is weird texture. It tastes like boogers.
Well, I think people just...
And maybe I'm an idiot for it. Maybe I'm just stupid. That's just and that's fine. Other people can be smarter than me. But it makes me very uncomfortable when people put a lot of pressure on, like, you need to eat this food and like this food, and I like it, so I really want you to like it too. And like, I don't really see food as a big experience like that. Maybe it's because I'm a picky eater and I just don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I think some people like to have, their time and energy that they put into creating the doo-doo fuel. They just want you to recognize and appreciate their work.
Yes, I completely agree, and I understand that. And I do appreciate when people put in work for me, and I understand that.
And I think some people...
But I also think it's a cultural thing. Like, some people, like, food is very big in some cultures and not in other cultures.
Yep.
Growing up, for us, food was always just, I'm hungry, let's find something to eat.
Like, I'm part Greek, and I have the Jewish side of my family, and for both of those, food is a big part of the culture.
Yeah.
It's like, food is essentially family. It's a way of showing hospitality to one another.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it's people want to know that they're making you feel welcomed.
Yeah.
And then if you're not enjoying the food, they feel like, oh, we're not doing a good job as hosts welcoming you into our home.
Right.
But I do get this guy's point. If it's like just, midweek and they're just trying to order something out. Because they don't feel like cooking.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, why did we waste our money when we have the stuff in the freezer?
Yeah.
I understand that. But if it's like a planned date night thing, then there's more to it than that. There's the aspect of you're just out and enjoying each other's company, and it's the experience of sharing that time together.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And who cares what kind of doo-doo fuel is on your plate?
Who cares?
It's
all just a pile of doo-doo fuel.
You know what's really good doo-doo fuel?
What?
Working Crass Podcast.
Working Crass Podcast will come right out of your ass.
It'll through your ears, out your asshole.
Through your ears, right out of your asshole. That's our motto.
Yep.
We promise. Well, moving on here, there was a recent scandal when it comes to art. I like art. I like all kinds of art. I went to school for music. I really like drawing. I've drawn my whole life and like done like doodles, and my mom was always real good at art too. I love all different types of forms of art. I like comedy. I like movies and TV. I like all that shit. I like all that garbage. What about you?
I only like unflavored water. I think that's pure art. And I only like sharp cheddar cheese. I think that's art.
I don't like the culinary arts. I'll admit it. That's the one art I don't like. I don't like the culinary arts. I think podcasting in some ways isn't art, although we don't do it that way.
We're like the people with a bucket of chalk on the sidewalk.
Correct. But some people are masters with a paintbrush when it comes to podcasting as an art, or stand-up comedy as an art, or any kind of art. And something I do appreciate is sculptors. I think sculptors are like, when you get a really realistic sculpture of somebody that like looks like a real person, it's so impressive. I could stare at that for hours because just the little details that are like, oh wow, I mean that just looks like a real human being.
Yeah, I can't think of who that artist is, but there's that guy who does like hyper realistic sculptures of people, and they're like giant size, but they're like so detailed.
I don't know.
I don't know his name, but I do think his art is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Michelangelo?
Yeah, that's the guy. No.
Couldn't tell if you were like doing a bit that
no,
was like.
no,
It's
I
like,
was not talking about Michelangelo. There's
oh.
this other artist, but it's like really grotesque stuff.
Oh.
I don't know how to describe it. Like it'll be like a giant sculpture of a old man with a shirt off, and just like every like vein and line and detail is like.
Do they have his stuff in like Ripley's Believe It or Not books?
Maybe.
I kind of think I know what you're talking about. Anyway,
I just can't think of his name, but his art is cool and I like it.
There is there's been a story in the news recently about Michelangelo's David. Apparently there was a Florida principal who was forced to resign after students were shown Michelangelo's statue of David. And so this was a charter school in Florida. Well, it doesn't tell me what age the kids were, and so that's like a big thing. But also, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I went in elementary school and saw like there was a nude male sculpture that's very similar to David, and I mean that's like the most fun day at school. Like you went and you saw a wiener, and then you went back to school. You're like, oh, I saw a wiener today. That's
and
hilarious.
It turned out it wasn't actually a sculpture. It was one of those guys on the sidewalk who was spray painted silver, and then he popped up, came to life. I
found out later it was a drag queen who came to read us a storybook, but. No, I mean, I think it's, most kids they just see it and you're like, haha, pee-pee, that's funny. It's not like pornographic. And art isn't like necessarily pornographic, but definitely not Michelangelo's statue of David. Like, that's like.
I don't know, it can get me horny.
But it's not intended to be pornography. It's at an art museum. Although I don't know, I mean, some modern art museums do some really like avant-garde stuff that might not necessarily be child-friendly, and I could see that. But you could see Michelangelo's statue of David, and like it's one of the most iconic pieces of art in all of history. You could see it in an art book. You could see it anywhere. I don't think that that's worthy of having a principal resign. But anyway, because that happened, there is a article here that we're looking at in for BBC Culture that lists 10 of the most famous artworks that caused a scandal. So we're going to read about 10 artworks that caused a scandal.
Scandalous arts, and we're going to rate them on a scale of hotness.
We can rate them on a scale of hotness. We could also. I also want to determine how offensive are these pieces of art really?
How offensive are they? How erotic are they?
How hot are they? How hot are the sculptures? How likely am I to jerk off to these sculptures? Yeah. But also, how scandalous are they really?
All right.
Because I would bet that the most scandalous don't get written up in an article. They get pretended like they don't exist, right? Scandalous is going to be like, and especially for a mainstream media article, what's scandalous is going to be like, it pissed off a lot of Trumpers. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It'll be like, here's the balloon of a baby Trump someone made. This was very scandalous to those idiot Republicans, but none of them will be like, this was actually very offensive to everyone on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's see how scandalous these are. So the first one is Mark Quinn, Self, 1991. Every 5 years, over the course of 5 months, British artist Mark Quinn siphons off 5 liters of his own blood and spills them into a translucent, refrigerated mold of his face. The result is an ever-emerging series of self-portraits into which the artist can legitimately claim to have poured more of himself than any artist that came before him. For some observers, Quinn's ongoing series, Self, is nothing more than a gruesome and vampiric stunt. For others, the work embodies a poignant and daring contribution to the tradition of self-representation to which such great artists as Rembrandt, Van Gogh, and Cindy Sherman have contributed. One that profoundly highlights the fragility of being. All of this is like,
I love that artist speak, where it's just a bunch of words strung together that really has no meaning.
Yeah, absolutely. Artist speak is all just like, It's just the sound of your own voice reverbing out of the inside of your own ass.
Yeah.
That you're talking up into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just string like 5 adjectives together and you'll sound like an art critic.
Yeah. No, absolutely. What was it? What was that last?
The
one that
fragility
profoundly
of
highlights
being.
the fragility of being. So it's just a bunch of his blood.
Yeah, this guy is just freezing a bunch of his blood in a face mold.
He's making a gelatinous version of his face with blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool. It's not really controversial, though. And is it hot? I'm not really into blood play.
I'm not into blood stuff.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not into blood stuff.
So a 0 on the hotness scale, and I would say a 0 on the on the scandalous scale.
I feel like it's trying too hard to be offensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's like trying to be that, and so many people do that stuff where they're like, "Yeah, I painted a picture with my own dookie matter. I painted a picture with my own blood. I shot a snot rocket on a canvas and called it art." I feel like there's so many of those that this kind of stuff.
I came on a parakeet, and it's a piece of artwork now.
Yeah, I have a bunch of socks in my room that my mom found that are all sticky. It's art. I told her not to move it. It's a sculpture collection. Yeah, I just think that there's so many people have tried to do that kind of shock art stuff that it's lost its shock a bit.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Totally.
All right, edgelord.
Yeah, for sure. Now here's the next one here. Number 2, Alan Jones, Chair, 1969.
Now, just looking at the picture,
this is one of the most fuckable ones.
The hotness has gone up.
Yeah, absolutely. For those listeners, this is a video episode.
Yeah.
Go to YouTube and look up Working Crass Pod.
Yeah, because you're going to want to see this art for yourself.
You're really going to want to see it.
You're going to want to feel it. You're going to want to soak it all in.
It's basically the sculpture of a woman that has been turned into a chair by putting her legs up. It's very sensual and sexual.
Yeah.
Unveiled to accusation.
It shows the fragility of life.
Let's read the description here. Unveiled to accusations that its creator, British pop artist Alan Jones, treated objects like women and vice versa. Chair, along with companion pieces, hat stand and table, I'd love to see some of those, contorted scantily clad female mannequins into an unergonomically engineered suite of scurrilously lewd furniture.
See, what did I say about string 5 adjectives together and you'll sound like an art critic?
It's so much. It's so much. It's difficult to read and comprehend. On International Women's Day in March 1986, the work was doused with paint stripper by a pair of activists appalled by the sculpture's chauvinist sensibility. The acid ate away at the face and neck, melting the awkward somersault in which the PVC work was forever frozen into a desperate duck and roll. Wow. So was this a picture of it before it was doused?
Yeah, it must be because, I mean, she doesn't look melted.
Yeah. That's awful. Never desecrate art.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's fucking retarded. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You don't be sorry. Don't be sorry.
It's dumb.
Those people who poured acid on that.
It's the same as the people
that
threw the tomato soup on things for climate change. It's like
they're like, just stop oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just stop oil, like oil paints. Just stop.
Just stop. And it's like, great. Now future generations can't go to an art museum and see that art. Well, they can because all of those art pieces were protected and they were able to clean them up. But
yeah,
still.
but it's just like,
why? Don't be an asshole.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. It's a waste of money too, because I'm sure it costs a lot of money for them to clean it professionally.
What did that artist have to do with big oil, with climate change?
I'm convinced when that kind of stuff happens and they say that they were able to restore the painting, what restore means is they just hire a painter to paint a new one.
Well, what it means is we had the real painting in storage.
And so we made a new copy to put out.
We have a new print that was able to be put out.
Yeah. No, totally. You're right.
Yeah. But wait, go back to the chair. Like, we got to rate this one on offensiveness, on hotness.
Hotness 10.
Hotness 10? I don't know. The haircut's throwing me off.
I don't mind that short hair.
I would like if I'm gonna have a chair with a haircut.
Yeah.
I just want, I don't know. I feel like maybe some curls.
I guess, it doesn't really matter to me. As long as she's up in that position, I'm good. That's a 10. But for scandalousness, I mean, I would say for the feminist activists that desecrated it, it's very empowering for women. What if a woman likes to be in that position? What if a woman likes to be an object? What if a woman wants to be a chair?
That is a great question.
What if my wife identifies as a dirty slut chair? What about?
I identify as a piece of furniture.
Exactly. What about that? Feminists?
Yeah.
Why would you desecrate a piece of art over that? There's plenty of women out in the world who are also feminists.
And I would say it shows that women support everybody around them.
They support men.
Right.
By getting on their back, putting their legs in the air, and letting us sit on them.
Without what this art is saying is that without women, men would be sitting on the floor touching their tiddlywinks.
That's very true. I don't know why it says that or what the correlation is, but I agree.
Well, you have to have an art critic's mind to really understand why it says that, but it definitely says that.
Touching their scurrilously lewd tiddlywinks.
Exactly.
Anyway, the next one here is Piero Manzoni, Merda de Artista. I don't know if I'm saying
is this a can of shit?
It's a can of shit. So it's a can.
Mm-hmm.
The can says Kunstlerscheiss. Well, maybe it is a can of shit. It does say Scheiss. Isn't it Scheisse? Anyway, This is from 1961. It says, if Duchamp, is that how you pronounce that?
Or Duchamps.
Duchamps?
I don't know.
Unused receptacle of human waste could be embraced by the art world as an aesthetic object in its own right, it is perhaps unsurprising that at some stage an artist would experiment with excrement itself and attempt to pass it off as a work of art. In 1961, Italian avant-garde artist Piero Manzoni, who a year earlier left observers aghast when he presented a balloon filled with his own breath as a work of art, did just that, cramming into 90 tin cans 2,700 grams of his own feces. The work is thought to be an elaborate response to a derisory comment that his father, who owned a canning factory, once made to him, likening his work to excrement. In 2016, one of his son's cans sold at auction for 275,000 euros.
So a can of dookie.
A can of shit.
Well, had I
Hotness scale, 10. Scandalous scale, 10. I mean, I guess it's it's just like, is that art? That's at the point I'm like, is that art?
I'm more offended that people decided, yes, that's art and I'll pay that much money for it.
Right.
Actually, I'm not offended by that.
Why can't it just be a can that says can of shit and there's no shit in it? It's like my shit has to be in it. It's like a Tim Robinson sketch that wrote itself. It's like, I'm gonna shit in all of these cans. Like, you don't have to shit. You could just say that there's shit in it. I have to shit in them. No, you don't understand. It's not art unless I take the shits in them. I already shit in them, so that's the way they're going out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think props to this artist.
Yeah.
And because he basically made all those people into suckers.
Yeah. Totally.
And he made a lot of money.
All right, let's move on.
And I think Working Crass should consider this as a merch item.
If you want to buy a Working Crass can of shit,
in the comments, post how much you'd give us.
Reach out to us, DM us on Instagram, Working Crass Pod, if you want to order a can of shit. Just Venmo me. I'll send you my Venmo. We can work something out. I can shit in a can. No big deal.
You know what this artist is doing today?
What?
He works for Spencer's.
Yeah, definitely.
He works for Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah. It's like, I'll sell you shit in a can, but it's got to be under the counter. We don't officially sell it here. Anyway, let's move. We have 7 more to go. Let's keep going.
All right.
This one is, I'm guessing, erased de Kooning drawing. Robert Rauschenberg. 1953. In 1953, the same year that the curators at the V&A believed modern eyes could handle David's genitals. Okay, I hate artists. It's like, okay, thanks for bringing up the thing that we were already talking about at the beginning. Anyway, the U.S. artist Robert Rauschenberg tried his own hand at the art of stripping things away. Curious to know if a work of art that could be created by removing marks from a surface with an eraser rather than adding them with a pencil, brush, or chisel as artists conventionally do. Rauschenberg convinced his friend, the Dutch-American abstractionist Willem de Kooning, to sacrifice a recent drawing of his to the experiment. The result is a paper scrubbed free of any discernible picture, challenging observers to decide whether the imageless image is an image at all, or whether the real work on display is the empty frame that surrounds the absence, a sculptural holding place for endless artistic loss. Here's the image here.
A blank piece of paper in a frame.
But it's been erased. There was something there.
See, I tried this in my elementary school art class, and I got in trouble for it.
Can't turn in a blank piece of paper, ma'am.
And I was like, no, you don't understand. I'm doing art because my art is the removal of the art.
I'll be honest, of all of them, this one is the one that I'm like, I get it. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a good idea. I'm sorry. It's art, sure. It makes you think.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure. What
exactly does it make you think?
It makes you think about what it is that the artist did originally draw there. So there was something that an artist did have there at some point, and it represents the erasure of art. I think that that's cool. I think that's creative and interesting. I mean, is it the best thing at the museum? Is it the one that I'm like, hey, give me a print of that at the gift shop? I got to get a print of the nothing picture. No, but to know the story of it is relatively interesting. Is it scandalous? Not at all. It's not even kind of scandalous. I don't even understand why. Surely there's like a picture of someone in blackface that's more scandalous than this is, right? Surely there's some kind of really incredibly racist painting that should be on this list.
Yeah, actually, that's what was erased. It was a picture of a person in blackface, and they
Then why is this scandalous? Isn't this a work of protest heroism?
Well, you have to. You're now filling in the blanks for yourself, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you're imagining what was there before.
Okay, but you just said, what if that was what was there before? That's why I was imagining it.
You know what? I'm too blue collar for that. I just don't understand it. Give me a can of shit. That makes more sense to me.
Now that's art. The next one is Judy Chicago Dinner Party, 1979, consisting of 39 place settings let's look at it first.
I like the name.
Because what it looks like is a bunch of like Sylvia Plath kind of vagina. Is that who does those? Sylvia Plath?
Sylvia Plath was a writer.
Damn it. Who does the vagina paintings?
Georgia O'Keeffe.
I mix all my stupid women up. Anyway, that's what it looks like. The Georgia O'Keeffe paintings on each plate. Is that not what it looks like?
It does. No, you see, Josh has a when it comes to floral art designs that look like vaginas, Josh just has a blindness. They all look the same to him.
Yeah, all vaginas look the same to me.
Yeah.
Consisting of 39 place settings commemorating the contribution of women to cultural history, from Sappho to Virginia Woolf, U.S. artist Judy Chicago's triangularly constructed banquet table has been both acclaimed for its pioneering perspective and derided for its shocking vulgarity. The work is dominated by almost 200 hand-painted china plates, many of which were decorated with blossoming vulva-like butterfly symbol. Believing that the work has too many vaginas, contemporary British artist Cornelia Parker scorned the installation in The Guardian as all about Judy Chicago's era rather than the poor women she's supposed to be elevating. We're all reduced to vaginas, which is a bit depressing. You know what? I'm going to actually agree with that one. Agree with that critic's take on it.
You're agreeing with the critic?
Because there is a lot of female art that is just vagina-centric. She's like, my vagina is beautiful. Here's a monologue about my vagina that millions of women will perform at their local theaters talking about their vaginas because their vaginas are beautiful. And it does kind of just make a woman be all about a vagina, which is what a man's perception of a woman is. A woman is much more than her vagina.
I agree. A woman is much more than her vagina. I agree with that.
And for like all of the art to be vagina centric is kind of, representing a very masculine idea of what women are, which is just vaginas. Just pussies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just things to F.
Now, what if a lady was like, I'm going to capture one of my queefs in a can and call it art?
I go, can I smell it? No,
is that too reductive?
It is pretty reductive. I mean,
that's reductive.
Why can't
queef in a can?
Why can't a nice woman just paint a beautiful tree? You know what I'm saying? Why has it got to be a queef in a can? Why does it always have to be dirty and gross?
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Does it not?
Sometimes queefs can be quite...
I'm talking about modern art, 2023, feminist artists. Does it not always have to be about being gross on purpose?
You're not wrong.
Is it not always like, look at how long I've gone without shaving or bathing? Isn't that brave? Look at how disgusting I am. Isn't that brave how disgusting I am? But also, isn't it beautiful and not disgusting at all how disgusting I am? But I'm missing 8 teeth and I'm beautiful. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're
Okay.
not wrong. I will agree with you.
That a lot of modern feminist art.
Yes, it's all about the grotesque, and I'm subverting...
All bodies are beautiful.
Right. I'm subverting normative standards by, not being kempt.
My legs are hairy, so deep. It's a very deep idea to have my legs be so hairy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't shave my armpits. I'm really sticking it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
Have a sniff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't use any deodorant as a critique of modern beauty standards, but also to make everyone go, P-U. But we didn't say how hot this one was, and I'd say pretty hot. I mean, it's all a bunch of plates of pussies, so... But scandalous, meh. I guess it is. I'd say it actually is a little scandalous because it reduces women to just vaginas.
I mean, it's reductive. Is it scandalous?
Is it scandalous? Let us see.
Yeah. I don't know about this one. I don't know.
I just want to lick those plates. Anyway.
lick those plates clean.
All right, let's keep going. This one is Richard Serra, titled Arc. Or no, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot today. Tilted Arc, 1981. There's a little arc outside, and it's slightly tilted. More than one iconic... And, by the way, so controversial. Look at this. I'm telling you, I expected to go through this list and see just freaking like minstrel show, mammy, like I just thought
you thought
these
it was
were gonna be offensive art pieces of art. None of these have been offensive so far.
Yeah.
I haven't seen... I thought it was going to be like some building with the N-word sprayed across it in red spray paint.
Yeah.
And people standing by going, why? Who did this? I thought it would be Piss Christ. I thought we'd see Piss Christ in here somewhere. You know about Piss Christ?
I do not. What is that?
It's one of the most famous, controversial pieces of art. People use it all the time to talk about freedom of speech because it was a thing that a bunch of right-wingers got really pissed off about in the 90s, where some artist did this like display where they like peed on Christ, or Christ was submerged in piss or something stupid like that. Just search Piss Christ. It's a big thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a very controversial piece of art that's very famous. I haven't seen that on here yet. I can't believe you've never heard of that.
Never heard of it.
Someone who writes about freedom of speech. You need to look up that.
I need to look up that?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'll look into it.
Anyway, more than one iconic wall fell in 1989, and the dead of the night, and this one was very iconic. As iconic, this piece of art that fell in 1989 is as iconic as the Berlin Wall coming down.
Yeah. As the Berlin Wall came down, this piece of art went up.
Tilted arc. 8 months before sledgehammers began pounding the Berlin Wall, a team of construction workers descended on Federal Plaza to slice into pieces a 120-foot, 36-meter long, 12-foot high, controversial barricade of steel that had been erected 8 years earlier. Contending that the work, a groundbreaking sculpture by the U.S. artist Richard Serra, provided shelter for terrorists, vermin, and vandals alike, a jury concluded that the minimalist sculpture should be removed and hauled off to a warehouse. Huh.
So this seems less about the art and more about the artist.
I guess so. Oh, I see. So, no, it's more about the art. It's not about the artist at all. The artist created this, and then they tore it down around the time that the Berlin Wall came down because it became a shelter for terrorists, vermin, and vandals alike. Is that what it's saying? The sculpture became like...
I misread that. I thought they were saying that the artist sheltered terrorists and vermin and
it's saying
vandals.
The work did that.
I see.
I'm assuming like as a place to hide because it's a big...
Because it's slightly tilted
I
and
guess.
It's a big wall.
I guess. I would just say like it housed homeless. I didn't know terrorists, vermin, and vandals alike. This sounds like a warehouse or like a hiding house or something. Anyway, hotness, 0.
0.
Scandalous, 0.
0.
All right, what's this one? Christo and Jean-Claude, Surrounded Islands. Not everyone who looked upon the 11 islands in Miami's Biscayne Bay, skirted surreally in pink polypropylene fabric for 2 weeks in May 1983 by the artists Christo and Jean-Claude, was seduced by its fairy tale magic. Environmentalists protested the work's installation, worried that the long-term effect of the 6.5 meter square foot of synthetic plastic stretched across the habitats of manatees and nesting ospreys. Ospreys is how you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Ospreys?
Mm-hmm. Ospreys.
The dialogue that constructing the work generated, which forced local officials and residents to discuss the fragility of the environment in which they lived, was among the artist's aims. Oh, so the artists, I like this idea. The artists wanted people to talk about the local environments in the water, so they said, we'll throw a bunch of plastic over them that'll kill them all, and that'll get people talking about, like, we need to protect these things. They got artists throwing plastic over them.
Yeah, we'll wrap a bunch of sea turtles in saran wrap and see what happens and call it art. And, you know, people will want to save the sea turtles.
This is like being like, I want someone to do something about school shootings, so I organized a bunch of school shootings.
Yeah.
And so people will start talking about it.
Yep.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
But I could see how that would, I guess, be somewhat... I'll give it a 5 on the scandalous scale. On the hotness scale, it looks like 2 pink floating pussies on the water. So I'd say that's a 9 or a 10 right there.
Yeah.
I'm very extreme in my ratings. It's either a 0 or a 10. Either I like it or I don't. All right, let's keep going. Number 8, Tracy Emin, My Bed, 1998. Though the bed... this is the picture of it. It's a messy-looking
It's
bed.
a messy, unmade bed.
That's right.
Jordan Peterson would not be happy with this work of art.
What have you done? What are you doing with your life? Though the bed, as an as an archetypal object has served as an indispensable prop in some of the greatest works of Western art, from Titians, Titians. I don't know.
Just go for it.
I am just guessing here. Venus of Urbino to Van Gogh's Bedroom in Arles, from Goya's alternately nude and dressed. I can't read all of the examples of the things that this is like. Public outrage at the installation by British artist Tracy Emin of her disheveled My Bed for the 1998 Turner Prize exhibition was intense and sustained, the site of a depressive episode in the artist's life, surrounded by the material debris of a hustled psyche.
Mm-hmm.
The rumpled bed quickly became Exhibit A for those contending that contemporary art had lost its way. Defenders of the work were surprised that more than 80 years after Marcel Duchamp's urinal, a messy bed could spark such outrage, and wondered whether the real objection was that a woman should so brazenly set up residency in a man's museum. Meh. It's a messy bed.
It's a messy bed. I guess, teenagers everywhere are creating art.
I guess so.
All day all day every day.
Wow. Yeah, I guess bachelors and
I would say if your mom is yelling at you to clean up your room, just tell her it's an art installation and it's worth a lot of money and museums will pay for it.
Yep.
And that'll get her off your back.
Yep. It's not okay. It's Jordan Peterson. It's not art. It's ugly. Jordan Peterson will start tweeting about this next. He's going to be like, it's ugly. How am I expected to say this is hot? It's not hot. I wouldn't fuck it. That's all of his tweets lately.
Yeah.
She's not hot. And everyone says she's hot. I'm a professor. I give lectures about big ideas, and I don't think this lady's hot. These beds are gross. Anyway.
Yeah, the dog outside didn't like it either.
Dog outside hates it.
He said, not hot, not offensive.
This one is by David Cerny. It's called Shark from 2005. It's kind of creepy looking.
Yeah.
Ripping off British artist Damien Hirst's audacious installation, The Physical Impossibility of Death in the Mind of Someone Living, in 1991, which featured a howling shark suspended in a formaldehyde solution, Czech artist David Cerny's arresting vitrine dared to float before visitors a hog-tied sculpture of the deposed Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein. Oh, that's supposed to be Saddam Hussein.
I was gonna say something, and I was just waiting to see if it came up in the write-up, and I'm glad I was vindicated for thinking, man, that looks like Saddam Hussein.
So instead of a shark, it's Saddam Icy. For some, the work came too close to casting Hussein in the role of the victim. For others, the piece was gratuitously graphic. The scheduled exhibition of the controversial work in a museum in Middelkerk, Belgium, in early 2006 was ultimately canceled by decree of the town's mayor, Michael Landiut, out of fear that certain population groups would find the work too provocative.
I mean,
a little too afraid that people, will be upset about Saddam Hussein looking like he's tied up.
In a
lot of those, you don't want to offend the Saddam Hussein fans.
Or, yeah. You
don't want to piss off people who are really into Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
It's not like, the president at the time didn't do that enough. It's not like we didn't do that, through the war, and it's not like we, used our media to, drag his name anyway. It's not like America was necessary. I guess this wasn't in America. So.
Is it hot, though?
Oh, yeah. He's naked. Very hot.
I don't know. I find this creepy.
It's creepy.
It definitely has a creep factor, and you're doing art with a very controversial figure.
Yeah.
Somebody who did despicable things. So yeah, it's going to be polarizing.
Yeah.
I think this one is should be ranked higher on the offensive scale.
Okie dokie. Well, so this is the last one, the most controversial. And I would say I like this one the most so far. Let's see what they got to say about this. This is by Paul McCarthy. I think he's in the Beatles. It's called Tree. Occasionally, the urge to censor a controversial work has been acted upon by offended observers rather than cautious curators. Such was the case in October 2014 when U.S. artist Paul McCarthy's huge inflatable sculpture tree erected as a Christmas display on the Place Vendôme in Paris was fatally toppled by vandals and subsequently deflated. Once the sculpture's close resemblance to the shape of a sex prop was pointed out by commentators, a kinship that was then impossible to unsee, there was no protecting the colossal work from assault. No way in hell this was supposed to be a tree. And anyone thought that this was going to look like a tree. And there's no one that stopped it before it went up saying it doesn't look that much like a tree. You know what it looks like.
I just picture...
No one told the artist. No one said anything.
I just picture Mr. Slave from South Park climbing up to the top of that and be like, I'm the star.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, I'm the star. And I'm going to shove it up my butt.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hotness, 10.
Hotness, 20.
20. This one takes the cake. This one takes the hotness cake.
I mean, that's a booty plug that's bigger than a building.
This one takes the hotness cake. And as far as controversial, it's a giant butt plug. I think it takes the cake for that one, too. I can see why this one was the last one.
I'm just going to toss this out there. Instead of showing children Michelangelo,
show children Tree by Paul McCartney.
Exactly.
By the walrus himself.
He's the worst artist in the Beatles.
Oh, man. Well, how long have we gone here? We might wrap it up here. Yeah, let's wrap it up here. Is that all right with you?
All right.
And then we'll do this Am I the Asshole next time around.
Okay.
Well, before we go, though, I will plug real quick that we are Working Crass Podcast.
Speaking of plugs.
Speaking of Christmas trees.
Well, while we're on the topic of trees.
I would like to plug Working Crass Podcast. Thanks for listening to Working Crass Podcast. You can find every single update that has to do with our show over on our Instagram at Working Crass Pod. Every episode, there is a video version of it at Working Crass Pod on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We have a sketch out that we're very proud of. Go check that out. Please like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already. Always click the thumbs up. Like our videos. Share them with people. Comment on them. That's the best way to get the algorithm to pick us up and keep putting our stuff out to other people. So if you found us that way, please pay it forward and do that for others as well.
Yeah. And Mayhem. We got Mayhem coming up.
And we do have Working Crass Mayhem coming up. And the month of May, we will be having a guest on every single episode that we do in the month of May. We're going to try something fun out and see how it works. Should be a very wild, fun month of episodes. We got some really cool surprises for you. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. And Lauren, what did you learn today?
I learned that we really should look at these different artworks and take some inspiration for possible merch ideas. Like, we can sell our unmade bedrooms, pictures of our unmade bedroom as Working Crass merch. I think we can definitely do the Dookie in the Can idea. We can erase something and feel like, this is a podcast that's just blank recording. There's nothing on it because we erased the original recording.
It's the absence of where a podcast used to be.
Yeah,
so that's art.
Yeah. Now we could blow up a giant butt plug. And
we could be artists, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I guess maybe we could be artists. Maybe. I never thought of working crass as an art, but when I see these other pieces of shit that they consider art, I'm like, damn, I could put a little tabletop on my ass and bend over like this lady.
Yeah. we can turn Josh into a hot piece of furniture.
You could turn me into a chair.
Yeah.
Well, I learned that art has no meaning and it's all pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you already knew that, though.
I knew. I was pretty sure I knew, but today it was confirmed. So anyway, all right. Thanks for listening, and have a good one. Bye.
Bye.